Muted. Okay. Okay, we'll just wait a moment or two to get started. I think there's 17 people, so hopefully some of them will come along. Melanie, can I ask you if you can let people in? If I make you host?
You can, sure. I'm assuming that it's just going to pop up like it does in Teams. So
Yes, that's all. You just click yes.
yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. I'll be back in a moment.
Okay.
I find it, sorry, Melanie, I find it helps if I have the participant window open.
Thank you. Thank you.
Definitely see them, but anyway.
Welcome, everyone. People trickling in still, but we'll get started. Hi, Maurice. Hi, Denise.
Hi.
All right. Over there. Close that. Okay, so if we just put our feet on the ground, put your feet on the ground, take a breath, and consider that you've taken this time, a couple of hours, and that there is wanting something, but equally something's possible. So think about desire and wanting something. right? And see if you can relax that back into something's available. Something might be possible. What might be possible for you today? What we're doing is we're getting our consciousness, nervous system, body into a liminal space where we're kind of attending to our experience and often wanting, while at the same time thinking we can't have something, creates a kind of block or a lock. So see if you can get to a curiosity about whether or not you'll get what you want, which might bring up some feelings, and breathe through those. Because that's where the equanimity starts, of moving into a more possible state. Curiosity. I wonder what will happen. Very often we get what we want in a way that can be delightfully unexpected. Sometimes it's how we thought we would get it, but sometimes it actually still happens some other way, but how we thought we got it is just our explanation for how we got something. All right. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. I think I know everyone. I don't know Helen, so welcome, Helen. And so we just have check-ins and then do some laser coaching. It's very free form. Feel free to bring whatever you want. And the idea here is that I'll show you some of the principles of this field and kind of put together developmental mastery, the tagline of which is for surprisingly elegant change. And this is the intention. What if there are more elegant ways for change and evolution in the nervous system that everyone, me included, haven't yet figured out? And in that play, we might figure out some new things today. All right. So who would like to have a check-in? Which is really just say what you want, what's on your mind. Yep. Hey, Denise, how you doing?
Cool.
Oh,
Okay.
there we go.
Think about that. All right. Technical issues. So after last week, I had sort of a sense of more peace, a little bit more clarity about my struggle. And but I'm back because there's still work to do.
Okay. Look, I just want to say something because the Zoom didn't carry over the questions. So the general thing here is the priority is the well-being, safety, the emotional safety of everyone here. But these are recorded, they get shared on Substack. So because I didn't say it last week, let me know on that. But the nice thing about this kind of work is we can do it content free. And the benefit of doing it content free, and actually I think Denise, you said I'm not going to tell you who it is, which is good, right? Because it means that actually the more general it is, the more other people can apply it to their own situations rather than get lost in the narrative of the person telling their story. Does that make sense? Right? There's no requirement to share beyond what's kind of arising in your body and what's happening in the moment. So does that, yeah, Denise?
That was, I felt like that was fairly successful to me, although I don't seem to be able to change my display name just to my first name, which I'd like to do.
Yes. So if you go into the, hover over your window.
Yeah.
And obviously the picture of you. And then this, you'll see 3 little blue dots arise in the corner.
Yeah.
Yep. And then one of those options is rename.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And then you can take away the surname.
Thank you.
Okay. And if you desire that, then I'll do something for the first bit if I can figure out how to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. But you know what? And this is the point about keeping the privacy to a degree, is there isn't additional conditions around change. You must say what you are experiencing, you know, that whole thing. So we're removing some of those conditions as well. Let me just get the host back, reclaim host. There we go. Maurice, sorry.
Yeah, and I think some of the earlier ones were just audio only, and I think that might serve the purpose in the same way.
There's a well, let me say this. These only go to the paid subscribers on Substack, but there is a value in seeing what's going on as well on some of them as well. So I will make sure that the registration every time has that from now forward. But yeah, I don't think anyone has. Here's what normally happens: if something really comes up where something very vulnerable has come up, I won't share it anyway. I'll go and cut it out. That's what I do, or I'll ask the person, right? So, all right, Denise. So, firstly, what did you notice in terms of changes? You said more peace. Anything else?
Well, I had an issue where once I was not sharing my thoughts about my loved one's illness or trying to give medical advice, I felt like I could not say anything to the person that was right. Like I didn't know how to relate anymore. And I guess the shift that occurred intellectually was that I realized that it was my energy, not the words, that made the difference.
Right.
And also, I just felt a shift because I'm feeling like a lot of grief for loss of what feels like the relationship feels performative to me.
Right.
So I have a lot of grief, and it released some of that grief, and I felt a little bit more peaceful.
Okay.
Knowing that if I changed my approach, it could shift it in a way that I could have more of a genuine relationship in the long term.
Well, firstly, let me just say that's beautiful and also beautifully articulated, I think, because I think we're all somewhere on that can't use the word spectrum anymore because it means something else. But we're all actually, maybe that's exactly what it means. Actually. So okay. So towards, without even the word authentic has kind of been misused, but without putting it some other way, something more like an authentic connection or intimacy of connection of human to human. Is that, can you put more words to it? How would you articulate the outcome state? Let's say we do some work now, something happens, something changes. What does it look like? Or what does it feel like? Or what is it like?
Well, I don't know how to articulate it further. I just feel more of a energetic, I don't know how to describe it, more of an energetic change where I'm taking out my emotion at it. I don't know what it is. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. No, I'm totally with you. This is fine. Absolutely fine. Okay. So I want you to compare and contrast this particular relationship with a different one that has more of whatever the thing is: intimacy, authenticity, naturalness. And just let me know when you've got one of those in mind. Don't have to say who it is, but just more of those. If we go, this is this one, and you go, I want this one over here, I want more of this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can do that. Although I'd say it's a general problem I have.
Okay.
Even with some other friends, but
Sure.
anyway, yeah, I can do that.
All right. So with all these friends, is there a bit of variation in the sense that, this one is a bit better than that one?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what we're doing is we're priming the brain to go in a direction, going, I know where I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Right. So take a breath for a moment, just attend to your breath. Right. And we'll do it like this. We'll do it most generally. So one hand on the back of your head. And then thumb and ring finger on either side of the nose. middle finger in the center of the forehead, and then literally just tune into your body and listen to these words. All of the origins of anything getting in the way of being able to have more connection, intimacy, relational freedom, ease, can heal, release, and be cleared now. Only those events and moments where a part of you made an assertion that something was necessary, some kind of barrier for safety, protection, and nothing will come down unless all of the reasons for it being there are genuinely over, that whatever's behind it can heal, release, and clear. And what we're looking for is a felt sense, I'll do it with you, a felt sense of some type of internal barrier, internal tension is kind of worked itself out somehow. That it's like, oh, hang on, that one's, I'm actually, a part of my psyche has moved beyond there. And, you know, that might be something from your 20s or whenever, you know, a long time ago. So, and what's interesting about this is when we do it, is that when we release and clear any particular barrier that seems to be getting in the way when we're trying to relate, we don't go back. I like that you said, I go back to zero and I have no idea how to relate. It's that part of you that doesn't know how to relate. The reason I know that is because you're relating with me perfectly fine since we started this call, right? So it is there, right? And so releasing the kind of, well, if I don't have this, how on earth am I going to, like, everything I do is wrong. I don't know how to, okay? And see if you can stay with that beginner's mind for a second and just let your body relax. And then releasing any grief, fear of loss, concerns, worries. There we go. And just if you're okay doing it, just over the top of your head a couple of times, like this. Just stroke over the top of your head, just from the forehead all the way over. There we go. And then down the side of the arms a couple of times. And what do you notice? What did you notice happened?
Just a bit more relaxed.
Okay, right. So it's an interesting thing, right? So what if you were a bit more relaxed in these situations and the old reaction, whatever tension reaction that came up, just didn't arise anymore? What would that be like?
That would be nice.
Yeah. So 0 to 10, how much disbelief is there? It's like, don't be ridiculous. That's not happening. What do you think? Oh, yeah. What was that? What was that?
Just trying to release it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Because sometimes it's not even, we've actually long since solved the problem, and it's our certainty that it's going to be how we thought it was going to be. And then that's what we're defending against the expectation, blah, 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 that isn't there. Right. So 0 to 10, how strong is that kind of, I'm pretty sure this is going to happen and I need to protect myself against it?
I don't know. It's like a 5 out of 10. I guess.
Yes. Yeah. Not too high. So tap on the side of your hand. Right. Notice how we're doing all this relatively like we're just chilling out, having a conversation. This is deliberate, right? Rather than the most extreme thing happening. So even though I have these concerns, these expected things that might happen that I needed to protect and defend myself from, if you just repeat that.
Okay. Even though I have these concerns that I feel like I need to protect myself from.
And I'm scared not to protect myself in these ways.
And I'm scared not to protect myself.
I love, honor, and accept myself.
I love, honor, and accept myself.
And I might be open to the possibility that I can find safety in a whole new way.
And I might be open to the possibility I can accept safety. I forgot what you said.
Find safety in a whole new way.
Whole new way.
Something that I just never even considered at the time when this was set up.
something that I never even considered at the time that this came up.
And so it just seemed like there were no other options.
And it just seemed like there were no other options.
So I did this, tap here. I did this
this
defense,
defense,
this reaction
this reaction,
to protect myself.
to protect myself.
So there's a really good reason why a part of me wants to hold on to it.
A really good reason that I'm sorry, I missed
That a part of me wants to hold on to it. The words don't even matter, but just close enough.
that I wanted to hold on to it.
Because I'm making a prediction of what will happen if I don't have it.
Because I'm making a prediction of what will happen if I don't have it.
And I choose to release those reactions now.
I choose to release those reactions now.
Okay, deep breath. And what do you notice?
I'm noticing resistance arising. I feel very compelled. Well, there's two different reactions that I'm struggling with. One is in relation to relating to the person, and one is relation to continuing to deeply dive into the literature of the science behind my it's just something I do, about everything.
That's okay. Well, that's fine.
So I think I got the thing about the relationship under control. I
Yeah.
don't have the other behavior, which is really to like read medical literature all day long.
Oh, I see. Do you want to not do that? Is that it?
Well, I don't know. Should I not do that?
I don't know. It's up to you.
I mean,
Do you
I don't
enjoy?
know.
Do you enjoy
don't
it, or
know.
does it feel like a compulsion?
I enjoy it, but I feel like maybe it reinforces the problems I have with the relationship. I don't know.
No, only if you try and push it on the person. You can read about things all day long.
All right, well, that's a nice clarification for me that then I have less resistance.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Now, let's do this, because sometimes there's a genuine intuition that we need to protect ourselves from some people, because they're going to throw stuff at us if we react, be a certain way with them, right? Right. And sometimes it's projected. We don't know how this person's going to behave or react, right? Okay. So are you open to doing like a little visualization of something? Okay. So here's what I want you to do. You say, this is just, tell me if this is off, by the way. So you say something to this person, and the concern is they're going to quote unquote throw something back at you, right? So throw some energy at you, blah, 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 blah. How is that for a kind of description? Come back at you with something that is reactive.
Yeah, although I wouldn't word it come back at me as far as what's happening to me.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel assaulted. I feel like I'm just more rejected.
Okay. Right. So this we can work with, right? Right. So just what happened there? What's happening right now?
Just grief.
Yeah. Just so breathe for a moment. Put your hand on your heart. And let's see if we can just hold and heal your own rejection, because it isn't just from this, right? It's about a connection to, a reconnection to the world, to love, to self, right? And so rather than trying to go in psychologically, can you just feel the feeling of grief and allow it to just to move? So it almost doesn't even have to feel bad, if that makes sense. So long as it's moving. There we go. Okay. By the way, the reason I'm smiling is because I think you're doing so well. That's what the smiling is. Why is he smiling at my grief? Okay. It just feels like it's just releasing and clearing. But you tell me what's happening.
Yeah, it feels like acceptance of my grief,
Yeah.
acknowledgement.
And what seems to happen from what I've seen in these forms is they dissolve, 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 dissolve until they evaporate. And then there's the reconnection. But all the way, it feels like it's not reconnected yet, if that makes sense. So what we're looking for is that it loosens, 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 loosens. And what the connection is that you're always here. We're connected right now. You're like with everyone here, right? So it's seeing through the illusion of disconnection, because at the time when whatever this got set up, this structure of rejection, it was a total universe in which there was an isolation or feeling like I got separated from something I love, someone I love, someone I want to be close with, someone I want to be with. Right? So we're just dissolving this energy structure that's telling that story, but we're not invalidating it. This is important. Right? It was the best that you knew how to do at the time. Okay. And another reason to do it this really gently is because sometimes what people fear if they reconnect to it is like an explosion, right? There's huge amounts of energy movement. That's why we're doing it really, taking our time, right? Trying to do it elegantly and smoothly. And all we need to know is it's just still moving, just flowing, connecting. Just imagine energy just from the back of your heart chakra. So I think we did it last time, just touching your back like this. There we go. How's that feel just physically to have the back of your hand on your scapula and your shoulder blades?
Feels good.
Yeah. Okay. And then what's happening in your neurology of you sitting in this moment here, coming out of that illusion and into this present moment, but we're not trying to do it. What are you noticing?
Well, I feel like a release of grief. There's my mind that's going to, when did I feel rejected by somebody? And, I'm not connecting with it. I'm trying to connect intellectually, and then just
Yeah, we don't need it.
no, don't even go there. It doesn't
Yeah,
even
exactly. Think of it this way, right? This is or each of us, another way to think of it, that it's not personal, is that every time you make this shift, we are human being in the collective of humans, and we are solving the puzzle of rejection. So one person had it in this context, this one had it in this context, this one had it in this context, right? But we're doing our bit in the collective consciousness to go, hey, here's how we solve this puzzle of rejection, right? And the assumption from the psychotherapy, I need to know when it was or where it was in order to solve it, is just fundamentally not true. It's a way, because usually what happens is if you bring consciousness to that moment, then it can resolve or dissolve the energetic, right? But it is not a requirement. So in trauma resolution, that kind of research in the last 20, 30 years, you can resolve, this is somatic resolution, right? Somatic releasing. I've forgotten his name, Peter Levine, right? And so the intention of the thoughts and if I find out what it is, think about what that is neurologically. It's the closure or the completion of not getting stuck in these cul-de-sacs of thinking, feeling, being, body, mind states. So what we were addressing is just what's happening in this moment, and can we find a pathway from a stuck state back to a flowing state and back to the present moment. Once that pathway is established, then even if the thing happens, it can't hold, right? It doesn't form a stable structure. It just comes back to returning to now. And our mind tells us the story of how it got resolved. People say all kinds of things.